Hopewell Core Group Facilitators. Thank you so much for answering the call to making disciples, whether you've done it for the first time here this season or whether this is something that you've been doing for years. We welcome you to this process and to this model of core groups that we are doing here at Hopewell. We as Christians are called to make disciples. And we don't take that calling lightly here as the pastoral team. And so we thank you just so much for jumping in and choosing to obey Christ in this way as members of his body. Core groups are short-term, focused around studies and focused around connection in such a way that allows all of us to get involved around our current availability in order to connect with new people, as well as people that we've known for a long time, as well as studying material that's going to help us grow in our faith and grow in our stewardship, grow in the way that we lead our families, grow in a bunch of different things, the way that we understand the Bible, the way that we understand theology as a church, and help us to speak the same language over time. And so you have the opportunity from season to season to go throughout a lot of different materials that the pastoral team has already selected and gone over and vetted to make sure that you guys are staying protected, which is one of our jobs, protected in right theology, as well as helping you guys to facilitate connection around materials that are already tailor-made for a small group scenario. Why do we use facilitator? So, a lot of times when we use the word leader, that comes with it connotations that you've already mastered the material. You've already arrived at what it is that we're asking you to do, right? And so you have to be a master at this thing before you sit down and actually lead or teach other people. The beauty around facilitation is that we're providing, again, materials for you that are literally plug and play. They're either book studies that have discussion questions already at the end of every chapter, or they're video studies where you would be able to learn alongside of other people as you just press play on a video and you guys get to learn together as a group. And then your job after that would just be to facilitate discussion. And I'll get to that in a second. But why facilitator is that you might be a seasoned leader and you might be somebody who's kind of used to this, who's been around the block a few times, who doesn't mind sitting down and understanding that they are the leader of a thing. There are others of you that this is your first step in obedience towards helping and facilitating making disciples. And so we wanted to make that as accessible as possible to you. So if you're seeing this video, you have answered that call, and we just thank you again so much for that. Your mission, should you choose to accept it, would be three things that we're asking you to do. Number one, go deep quickly together. This is all about connection. Okay, so going deep quickly means that, and I've seen it happen, that you can actually go deep into relationship quickly with a group of new people that maybe you've never met before, or maybe you were just more of acquaintances before, and you can actually facilitate that kind of environment of connection that helps people to feel comfortable, that helps people to feel welcome. Now, there's a few tricks to this. Number one would be the resources that we're going to be providing you with. If you're new to Church Center, if you went to Church Center and you logged in and you clicked on groups, you should, as the facilitator, see your group listed there. Go ahead and click on groups. Now at the top, you're going to see a resources tab. Click on resources. What you're going to see in there is that we've already loaded in a bunch of different ideas for icebreaker questions that help you to get to know each other better on a deeper level pretty quickly towards the beginning of your sessions together. You'll also see snack sign-up sheet if you would like to do that and rotate around signing up for snacks. And then you'll also see a covenant listed there. And that core group covenant is going to help you guys to understand that you're committed to each other for this short-term period of time, to doing this study and making it a priority, making that group a priority together, and also protecting each other by understanding some things around confidentiality. What happens in your group stays in your group. And should you need any pastoral help outside of that because of something that's gone on in your group, you are free to confidentially come and share that with us and confide in us and know that it's going to be kept confidential. We want to protect your privacy. We want to protect the confidentiality and the relational aspect of your group in that way. All right, number two, your job as facilitator is to facilitate conversation and connection. You facilitate connection by being the person that's kind of there, keeping the conversation going throughout different people, making sure that everyone has a voice, making sure that wherever you're hosting, whether it be at church or in your home, is a welcome environment, that it's a peaceful environment, that it's something that is allowing people to be able to relax and let their guard down and just experience relationship with one another. Secondly, you facilitate conversation. And we do this, in a couple different ways. And really the main thing is that you're making sure that no one person is dominating the conversation. You might be in a core group or hosting a core group or facilitating a core group with a pastor as part of that group. Okay, that doesn't mean that everyone looks to the pastor to answer all of the deep theological questions. They're there for that, but it's really just about connection. It's really just about bouncing ideas around. The way that I've done this with students in the past is that a lot of times I will just sit back in a group and I will throw a question out there and let everyone just kind of discuss it. Right or wrong, it doesn't matter. Discuss it, and then you as the facilitator would be vying for each person's participation before then trying to bring it back to something that is kind of like a period at the end of that sentence. So we encourage you to do that. And so there's a couple considerations for that. Sometimes people are there who their personalities just lend them to dominating conversation. That person might be you. It honestly is for me when I lead. And so we have to discipline ourselves as the leaders to just kind of sit back and let conversation happen. And if there's somebody in your group, don't be afraid to say, to kind of like gently cut in and maybe pick on somebody else. What do you think? Right? So your job is to facilitate connection by also facilitating conversation and making sure that everyone's included. Finally, your job is to make more leaders. Jesus didn't just come and teach and give an example of how you should live. He did do that. But he didn't just do that. He did that knowing that he was only going to be here for a limited amount of time in person, and so he needed to equip people quickly. He needed to make more leaders. We are called to not only make disciples, but make disciples who can make disciples. So we're going to ask you to do a couple things. We're going to ask you again from the conversation piece, make sure everybody's involved. We're going to ask you to look around the room and see who you might identify to be a leader in the next semester or a facilitator in the next semester, who we can maybe call on to maybe step out in obedience for their first time. And finally, we encourage you, as you get along into your study or into your content, maybe halfway through the semester, maybe consider divvying out different chapters or different videos or different sections of your study to other people in your group to then facilitate and lead discussion. And maybe have them get to know to do it in the first time. It builds confidence in them to know that they can do it, and maybe they'll step out in obedience this next time as well. So those are the things that we would ask you to do. Go deep quickly, facilitate connection and conversation, and of course, make more leaders, because that's what we are called to do as the body of Christ. Building each other up in maturity and to the stature and measure of Christ. We are being conformed to His image together, and so we are thankful that you want to participate in that with you. Remember that we are here. I am here to help you every step of the way throughout this semester. If you should have any questions or concerns, please feel free to reach out to me. I would love to be able to assist you in any way that I can. And we just pray that you have a great season.